This episode is brought to you by SD Sober Living. If you or someone you know needs a safe, supportive recovery home, then reach out to SD Sober Living at www.sdsoberliving.org or call 619-334-9869. That's 619-334-9869. Come get some fuck fentanyl and some San Diego recovery at SD Sober Living. Hey everyone, I want to take a moment to talk about something really important: mental health and addiction. If you or someone you know is struggling with mental health or drug addiction, especially if they're facing chronic relapses or have a history of bouncing in and out of treatment centers, I want to recommend Baja Rehab. Baja is a premier lockdown treatment center located just 45 minutes from the San Diego border in beautiful Mexico. I've had the opportunity to visit their facility, and I can tell you firsthand it's not only stunning, but also equipped with everything needed for recovery. They offer comprehensive medical detox and have a dedicated team of drug counselors and specialized therapists. If you are ready to take the first step towards healing, call Shalom, the intake director, at 619-855-6368. That's 619-855-6368. Your loved ones deserve a second chance, so don't wait until it's too late. Reach out to Baja Rehab today. Looking for your next new tattoo? Visit My Addiction Tattoo, where art meets passion. Our talented artists specialize in custom designs tailored just for you, ensuring each piece is as unique as your story. From your vibrant colors to intricate black and gray work, we bring your vision to life in a safe, welcoming environment. Plus, we prioritize hygiene and professionalism every step of the way. Book your consultation today and let's create something incredible together. Visit us on Instagram at My Addiction Tattoo or call 858-352-6416. That is 858-352-6416. Or stop by at the shop at 3742 Mission Boulevard, San Diego, California, 92109. Nobody reps fuck fentanyl like My Addiction Tattoo.
You think you hate me now? I'm about to hurt your feelings. I'm putting up points on the board. Finna shake up the till I'm bored. You think I'm sexy now? This ain't need my final form. Spaghetti, my chain is heavy. Your penny so little, fit over my chili. The niggas dick riding, should work at a deli. Her bitch with no ass, she can't give me direction. Where's the waist? Sign of the tits. I know I'm that bitch, it ain't shit they can tell me. I'm buying the purse for the store, get to sell it. Yeah, they still watching me, put it on Netflix. Bitch so bad.
Yeah, Megan the Stallion. That was a great lyric.
I love her.
Oh shit! My name is Luis Romero. I'm the Fuck Fentanyl guy, and this is the Fuck Fentanyl podcast. I have my friend Erika on. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for asking me to be here. It is definitely a privilege and honor. I see your shit everywhere.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. It's really cool. I love what you're doing.
Fuck yeah! Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. So are you originally from North County?
I am not.
No?
I am a military brat. I was born and raised overseas in Germany.
Holy
I
God.
came to the States when I was 18 and California maybe like 20. So I'm about to turn 32, so maybe about like
shit!
12 years ago.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
So you grew up speaking German?
Well, so unlike lots of places, especially the US, like you don't just get born and like get citizenship. So like I was born there to American parents. They were both in the military. So I'm totally American.
Okay.
But my parents did want me to have like the whole German experience. I went to German elementary school.
Really?
I speak German. It's definitely fading, but I understand
really?
it way more than I speak it now.
Oh, really?
But yeah.
Can you say something in German?
Jawohl, ich bin von Deutschland.
Fuck yeah. That's really cool.
Yeah.
How is Germany? How is it like living there?
I fucking love it. I miss it so much. Being like, raised there, I'm kind of biased. Like I really miss it there. When I moved to the States, it was a huge culture shock.
Yeah.
But it's beautiful there. Like I grew up, one of my childhood homes, like my backyard was a creek. There was blackberry bushes, like a whole field and just bike trails, forests. Like it was just fucking beautiful.
Oh, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I always wanted to visit like Eastern Europe. I always just found it really fascinating.
Yeah, most of my heritage is Eastern Europe. I mean, again, totally American, but my dad was really into genealogy, so like I know a lot about both sides of my family, and very Prussian, which is basically just German, but before it was Germany.
Oh, no
And
shit.
yeah, I miss it a lot. Like I grew up in a city where there's a fucking castle. Like we had celebrations there. There was like summer parties in a castle. Like
What?
yeah,
That's
it
freaking
was
dope.
yeah, it's a whole different kind of thing. And being in the military makes the experience a little bit different. So I'm really grateful that I like got to grow up in the culture a little bit because it made me a little bit less entitled. Americans, when they, you know, travel to certain locations, if you don't immerse yourself in the culture, then you think that America's the shit and that it should be like, oh, you don't speak English and I'm in your country, like you need to speak English to me, you know, kind of deal.
Yeah.
But
Oh, for sure.
yeah, my family had a lot of German friends. We hung out in German bars, like it was, yeah, whole German thing.
In Germany, isn't like the alcohol age like a lot lower than here?
Yes. So when I was growing up, it was 16 for a hard liquor.
Okay.
You could walk into a gas station. I mean, I was 12 walking into gas stations and buying alcohol.
Really?
Yeah. But shortly after that, it was raised to 18. So it's still 18, but they're just, I feel like, you know, people still get, you know, they party, they get fucked up, but it's a little bit different of an environment. These are small cities. Like the whole country of Germany is like, you know, the size of one of our states, you know?
Oh, yeah.
So
that makes sense.
same with driving. Like driving age is 18. You have to go through so many like hoops, spend a lot of money to get a license. It's very strict if like you get caught with a DUI. So like there's like actual like hardcore consequences. I know there are here too, but like
it's like they'll give you a slap in the wrist like the first couple rounds of it.
I know, right? But yeah, they're a lot more strict there. But yeah, drinking age was lower. That's like one of the reasons that I think my addiction really kicked off.
I was about to ask that. Like, was there? Because when I think like Germany, I always think of like those, like as far as like their drinking thing. Those just giant cups.
Yeah.
Look like it's like a gallon of beer in there.
Yep, Oktoberfest.
Yeah,
huge
yeah,
stein.
Oktoberfest.
Yes,
Dude.
it's very much like that. It's very immersed in the culture to drink beer.
Right.
And yeah, that's how I grew up. Like my parents, they really loved going to bars and playing cards, and we ended up in a small little town where like they made friends with a few of the bar owners and like a lot of German friends, and we would go there, and it was just kind of like a normal thing, like, oh, do you want to try my wine? Do you want to try my beer? You know, and we're like 7 years old, and we're like, yeah,
Sure.
of course.
Oh my god. They always look like they're having such a good time. Like waving their shit around.
It really is. It's a whole different kind of party scene.
Yeah, fuck. And so how old were you when you first tried alcohol?
Probably like around like the 7-8-year-old mark. Just taking little sips from my parents' glasses, stuff like that. But actually, like drinking was probably more like 10.
Okay.
So like I would take my first beer, me and this other American neighbor.
I see.
We would like drink beers every now and then. And I didn't really think anything of it. We would also steal cigarettes from our parents and like not inhale at that age, but think that we were so cool and like, you know, smoke cigarettes. But I was in 8th grade and I stole like, I don't even know what size, like the Costco size of rum. I would steal those from my parents and like hang out with my friends. And I just remember taking my first shot and not being able to breathe because it was so fucking strong.
Yeah.
But the feeling that I felt afterwards, I was like, yes. And I was the one who brought the liquor. So everybody was like, yeah, fuck yeah, Erika. And, you know, kind of gave me that first sense of like, oh, I belong.
Oh, for sure.
People want me around.
Yeah, you're the shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so was it what about so I know alcohol is definitely a big thing over there. What about drugs and stuff like that? Was there like any sort of like hardcore like drug use like out in the open in Germany, or is it just?
So when I was there, how I got into drugs is I was really so I'm 32 like I mentioned, born in the 90s, internet's getting big. I was really like into reading about drugs online and forums like
Really?
Blue Light or I was really into that shit. I was
Dialed
like
in.
deep dark web stuff.
Oh my
And
God.
I would always like look to see like how I could get high without, you know, hard drugs.
Yeah.
So over the counter stuff. And that was kind of like what I did middle school, maybe freshman year a little bit, but weed was involved.
I
So
see.
people are big stoners over there.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what it's like now because of
sure.
weed becoming more accessible, the internet connecting all of us all over the world.
Right, absolutely.
But then there were smoke shops, and usually the people who ran the smoke shops would also sell weed. But, totally illegal.
Right.
Very, 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 you'd have to like know them very well.
Really?
So, it kind of started like that. And the harder drug scene, what I was aware of, because I used to go clubbing, was just coke. Maybe e-pills, like ecstasy mixed with some kind of, amphetamine.
Sure.
But I didn't see any of like heroin or meth use.
Opiates.
However, I did start my opiate journey in Germany, but it wasn't with Germans or in their drug scene. It was in like my own little bubble with the person that I was dating at the time.
Oh, well, there we go.
Yeah.
That will happen.
Yep, because the over-the-counter thing merged into raiding people's pill cabinets.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Unlimited access.
Yes, unlimited access. People just have this in their home, and it's for me.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
That was my thinking. And, yeah, that's how benzos, opiates started appearing. And I'm like, what's better than, like, opiate pills? Heroin.
Yeah. How old were you when you started heroin?
I believe I was 17 or 18.
Oh, okay.
I was doing pills a little bit earlier than that.
Sure.
But,
Build it up.
yeah, we wanted more.
Yeah.
Me and this guy that I was dating, we were so in love, but it was like the worst fucking relationship ever.
Super toxic.
Just so fucking toxic.
Sure,
I was the worst. He was the worst.
Yeah.
Both had our own trauma. Put it together with our addiction, just,
Yeah.
bad.
Fights every night and
Fights every fucking night. Just end of the world. We're meant to be, but somehow we just can't get along. Like,
right?
Yeah,
absolutely.
That whole thing.
Wow. And so it was pretty much a big build up, and now you're starting to do the hard stuff. And
yep. Yeah, and I mentioned the internet because that was one of the ways that we got drugs. Like
really?
Yeah, we went through the whole. There was this website called the Silk Road, and this was when Bitcoin was still super hard to gain access to, and you had to get a wallet with all these codes, and it was really complicated. And we would buy drugs online with Bitcoin and get them shipped. What? And the heroin that we got, I had no idea what black tar heroin was. Like, I had no fucking idea.
Seriously?
I was used to powdered heroin that I could snort and was really fucking strong. Like, literally the tiniest little bump, you're fucking out.
Oh, yeah, the powder stuff? Mm-hmm. Oh, fuck.
Yeah. We used to call it just like the heroin from the camel's ass kind of thing. Yeah. So I was pretty spoiled starting off. And then moving to the States was a whole nother realm too.
Oh, yeah. What got you moving over there from Germany to here?
So my dad got stationed to Arizona, but we went to visit family first, and I was like, I want to go to fucking Arizona.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Humongous fucking kind of culture shock right there.
Yeah, and I didn't want to go, so I stayed in the Midwest. My dad's side is from the Midwest, and I had all these pills. I had like the Oxy 80s before they were coated.
Whoa.
I just had like pill bottles that were that big, and I just survived off of them for like a really long time.
Wow.
Like in secret though.
Right, of course.
I remember my friend telling me she had like sent me this journal entry that she had written about me, like how heartbroken she was. Yeah. Because she was like, I can see my best friend loves drugs more than me, you know? And I was like, fuck. I mean, yes, but fuck.
Yeah. Oh my
like,
God. Right.
It was more important.
Yeah.
And so I stayed in the Midwest for a little bit, and then I moved to the East Coast with said boyfriend because he also moved stateside.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Your Romeo?
Yes, my Romeo. And we ended up in like Florida and North Carolina, and
fuck.
Just
you went all the way up there, just down there,
down south,
south,
dude.
It's kind of reminiscing of that Requiem for the Dream, that movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like. What's the word? Not fetishize, but like those movies, like it like glamorized the lifestyle for me. I was like, even though
yeah.
those are awful fucking movies,
Yeah,
like
they're
he
awful.
loses his arm.
There's clearly a message.
There's clearly a message. I'm like, yes, that's me.
Yeah.
It's awful.
Oh, I know. I did the same. I love watching drug movies.
No, I can't really watch them anymore. Like,
You can't?
No, I just. It's kind of funny. Me and my sponsor and sponsee sisters just went out to see the movie Honora, and it's about like an exotic dancer, and you know, there's like the lifestyle that you live when you have those kind of career positions.
Sure.
And it's like this fucked up, like it's a fucked up story. But I remember like looking at it and seeing like all the drugs, all the dancing, all the money, and just being like, there was like a fraction of a second where I was like, God, I wish I had that stuff.
Yeah,
you know?
right.
But ultimately, I'm like, wow, I'm so glad I don't have to live like that anymore.
Right.
Like, that is just not pleasant. Like all the pain, all the turmoil, like literally just seeing it on a screen. And yeah, I'm just glad I don't like glamorize it anymore.
Oh fuck yeah, fuck. One of my my favorite movies is Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Yes.
I watched it sober like maybe like a year ago, and I still enjoyed it, but for sure it's not the same.
Right?
Like
doing mescaline, DMT,
Yes,
just fucking crazy in
yes,
casinos.
yeah. But it's still a great movie, and I still love it. But yeah, I know what you're saying though. I also I was watching that movie Trainspotting.
Yeah, that's another one I was thinking about on the way over.
Yeah. I was watching it, and I remember there was a close up. You know what I mean? He did where he's shoving that shit in there, and I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
That was hard.
Yeah.
But it's still a great movie. It's just, yeah, but I could see like getting triggered by it and all that. So I don't really watch movies that are centered around drugs either.
Yeah.
Like, you know, if it's like the right filmmaker and stuff like that. Like I love that movie. I watched that movie Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah.
I watched it sober. It was so great. I loved it. I love that movie. But yeah, like, you know, but pretty much my I think it's just my perception of life is just different.
Yeah, same. I don't necessarily think that I'd like be triggered by them. Like there is that initial thought, but it's so brief that I don't even consider it a trigger. It's more just like, wow, my life is so different that this doesn't like interest me the way that it does anymore.
Right.
Like, yeah, good movie, very well written. That person is so annoying that I think that they're a good actress. Like,
yeah. Right.
But yeah, it's kind of one of those moments where like now being in recovery and being clean, I'm just like, wow, my life is so different. Like even my thought process is just like, wow, I'm so grateful.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And wow, so how did you get the fuck out of where you were going to Florida or?
I was in Florida and then North Carolina. In this little tiny retirement community called New Bern.
Ooh.
And I was living with the Romeo.
Yeah, the Romeo,
his parents.
Yeah.
And things just got really bad. I don't even know if they knew how bad it got, but like it became one of those situations where like I called my parents and I was begging them. I was like, I need help. Like, I can't be here.
Yeah.
And I had no fucking life skills. Like, I didn't have the capacity to like do anything for myself. I couldn't like get a job and move out or anything like that. I could not do anything. I was so depressed in such a toxic, neglectful, emotionally abusive relationship where I just couldn't do anything for myself. So I'm begging my parents, like, please let me live with you. Please give me a plane ticket to like come be with you guys. And they were like, okay, yeah. And the only condition is that you have to leave in a couple days. And I'm like,
oh, like, wait, hey.
Yeah, because I'm still using, so I'm like, oh God, how am I gonna do this? But ultimately, I did that, and I survived off of Suboxone for like a really long time.
Really?
Yeah, because I was when I first started using opiates, withdrawals were like nothing. I could just be like, okay, I can get through like a couple weeks feeling like shit. Maybe take like some benzos, do all the things to make it minimal.
Yeah.
And then when I use again, it'll just be like that much better.
Yeah.
That was my cycle.
It'll be way more intense.
Yeah, but it wasn't like that anymore. The withdrawals were actually like puking, gut wrenching, all the bad stuff.
All the bad stuff.
So Suboxone was my savior. I had like a bunch of strips and I just like kind of survived off of that. But after a certain point, I like called the toxic ex and I was like, I need heroin. Like, please send me heroin. Yeah. And he did.
Wow.
Powdered heroin, little stamp bags. And then I started finding like my own connects over here in California. And it started off with pills and then progressed. And then I was introduced to black tar.
Black
and
tar.
I was like,
wow.
what the fuck is this? It's like, it extinct nowadays. Anyways, does anybody even know what black tar is anymore?
I don't think so. I think that's exclusively in Mexico appearing nowadays.
Right?
Yeah.
And I always just like compared it to like, it makes you feel how it looks. Sludgy, dark.
Dude. I fucking love it.
I know, I fucking loved it too. Don't get me wrong. I was just like, ooh. This is what we got? Okay, cool.
I remember when I first saw it though too, I was like, what the fuck is that? That doesn't look like a drug. That looks like smeared shit.
Yeah.
It smells bad. But I started loving the smell too now.
I know.
It's like vinegar and coffee.
Yeah,
and
vinegar, coffee, or if it's cut with sugar, then you're like, ooh, the sweet burnt caramel smell. It's like a bottle of wine where you're trying to guess like the smells or taste or whatever.
Yeah.
And you're like, ooh, this heroin is cut with blah, blah,
Yeah,
blah.
yeah. Extra baby laxative.
Love it.
Was this like were you already slamming it too, or?
No, I actually never slammed. I
Never
only
slammed?
smoked. Yes.
Wow.
So
That's so good.
it really is because like I wanted to so bad. Like I had worked in vet clinics. I work in like the vet field.
Oh God, you had
So
access.
I had access to like diabetic needles. I
Yeah.
was actually like in my own way, I felt like I was doing harm prevention. I would give like everybody that I was using with like a little bottle of isopropyl alcohol, some gauze wipes, and like a pack of clean syringes.
I see.
Too many times that I'd seen people like share needles or pick them off the
Oh
ground,
yeah.
and I was like, that'll never be me.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
But I still had the thoughts. I was like, I have access. Like I could totally do it. Like,
Yeah.
I know how. Like
Right.
I could be safe and clean.
Oh, for
and-
sure.
But I don't know. I think almost like starting off with snorting it almost, I don't want to say like saved me from the needle,
Mhm.
but made me prefer like snorting things or smoking things.
yeah.
So
Absolutely.
yeah, even though the consequences physically of like smoking or snorting,
Yeah.
I mean, obviously there's consequences with like slamming drugs, but
Yes.
like
Yes.
I ended up in the hospital a couple times because I couldn't fucking breathe because like my lungs are such shit.
Yeah.
That like
That
I
happened to me, too.
literally couldn't breathe. I had to put on the oxygen mask and like hang out and give a fake name and then
Yeah,
just like
of course.
dip after I feel better.
Right.
God.
I remember I had a close call and it was just so embarrassing. This one I didn't OD, but like I literally couldn't breathe anymore. And they were they shoved. I went to the hospital just up the street from here.
Wow.
But yeah, I was like 22. I couldn't breathe anymore, like because I was doing so much meth and heroin. Well, I don't really do meth very often, but I was trying to just do meth as an inhaler. So
Yeah,
I could just
that's exactly what I was about to say. Like, you can't breathe, so you start using meth because it'll open up your lungs. Like,
yeah,
makes sense.
Yeah, and then that wasn't even working anymore.
Yep.
It was a temporary fix. So I had to go to the hospital. They IV'd me. I stayed there like almost a night or something.
Yeah.
And as soon as I could breathe again on my own, I'm like, okay, I'm out of here.
Yep, done.
Back to business.
I can totally relate to that. That's definitely part of my story.
Oh my god. Was getting clean ever like a thought where like I'm just gonna stop using forever?
No, it really wasn't. Like I told you before we started, I was listening to your episode and I could relate to so much of your story, and I just love that about the rooms and just recovery in general. Like we could have totally different stories, and just like I hear what you're saying, and I'm like, yep, I feel that.
Yeah.
But no, I did not plan on making it to 30. I was very okay with that.
Yeah.
There were definitely points where I wanted to die, and I was very okay with that. And I pretty much assumed that I would die using heroin, and that was going to be like that was the best.
Right.
That was literally like the best plan that I had. And I was very settled in the fact that that would be my life. And I was just, okay, like that was fine. And I never had any dreams of like getting clean or stopping. My version of getting clean was that little 2-week break so that I could use again.
Yeah. You get a better high.
Yeah, get a better high. But even that didn't last because after a certain point, you're like, I can't wait 2 weeks. It's just not going to happen.
I know, right?
Yeah.
We're very impatient sometimes.
Very impatient. Gee, I wonder why.
I know. What was your first brushing with well, I guess because you had no intentions, but what was it that got you clean?
Well, when I started living with my parents, a whole bunch happened. Like,
Sure.
you know, can never fit a full story in an hour. But
Yeah.
basically, I ended up homeless.
I see.
I'm from North County in California.
Yeah,
I'm from
in
North
California.
County.
Yeah.
But I ended up homeless in a car for maybe about 1.5 or 2 years, and then actually homeless like in the bush, like bush status.
Oh, fuck yes.
Yes,
I
that
love
was
that.
me. And again, totally okay with that. I'm like, I always, again, the whole glamorizing, like the lifestyle thing.
Yeah.
I would even read books, like Jack Kerouac on the road, like thinking that being homeless or hitchhiking.
Oh,
or,
is that like a new way of life?
Yeah. New way of life, adventure. Like, this is going to be great. My life is going to be romanticized.
Oh, for
like,
sure.
yeah, all while fucking just dirty, smelling like piss, like peeing in cups, shitting in bushes, like, you know, all of that great stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I ended up homeless on the streets, and I started getting in trouble with the law. And I never got any like crazy charges. It was all just like, you know, misdemeanors for possession or using. There was one point, well, technically not my first arrest, but the one that I actually went to jail for was I was with another ex, and he had stolen a bike that had a GPS on it or something.
Oh, bike.
And we were living in the car at the time, and he had basically they found us because of the GPS. And I was asleep in the back after like nodding out.
Yeah.
We thought we were so clever. Like, he had the bike on the fucking roof of his car.
Wow.
And it was just so stupid. We just see
awesome.
lights. Not
It's
even
like
a
beeping.
motorcycle, a bicycle. But apparently it was a really good one. It was like $2,000. So
Wow. Woo.
I know.
Wow.
I know.
Wow, dude.
Yeah, I remember the cops questioning me and me having the mentality like, don't say a fucking thing.
Yeah.
And I didn't. But that meant that I was arrested and got the same
Charges him.
or was attempting to get the same charges as the guy I was with. And he had unconcealed firearms in his car and a whole bunch of other accessories. He was a gun guy. And we were homeless. So where are you going to put your guns now? Except in your home, your car.
Your car.
So yeah, that they were trying to do all of those charges for me too.
I see.
So, but I didn't say anything, so I just spent the exact same amount of time in jail that he did. And then I got released with no charges. I just spent that time in jail. So that was my very first time. And then they were following us around, and we got arrested many times for possession. And at a certain point, I got offered PC 1000.
Oh,
And
shit. They still got that?
yeah, they do.
Wow.
I'm grateful for it because it was like my easy way out. At least I thought so. Because at the time, I was in an area of North County when I was homeless where it was right next to a methadone clinic.
Oh,
so
fuck.
I got on methadone.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is going to save me.
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely.
It's going to save me. Yeah. And so I was required to drug test. I had to go to meetings.
Okay.
And basically had to like report to somebody. I don't even remember the details of PC 1000, but my methadone clinic covered all of it. So, because, you know, piss testing, you have to piss test. Even if you get a dirty test, like, you're still piss testing. It qualifies. So, like, it didn't even matter if, like, I didn't stop using. So that's what I did. I just kept on using. And
you found a nice little shortcut right there.
I really did. But it got me introduced to meetings. And I just remember being that person who sat in the back of the room, nodding out.
Been there.
Getting there late, leaving before everybody circled up,
Been
that
there.
whole deal. Yeah. And there's this one girl who still has her clean date, but I remember seeing her, I think she was taking 6 months.
Wow.
And it's really funny because I remembered her name, and then I actually got to like meet her in person, and we're friends today. But I remember seeing her get 6 months, and everybody go fucking crazy in the room. Like, oh my fucking God. And like cheering her, like, wow.
Yeah.
And saying like, fuck yeah. And I just remember thinking like this has got to be a joke. Like this can't be real. And I just remember like looking around and just like not really believing it.
Yeah.
And this was at the Tri-City Hospital. So there was like a Friday night meeting, a Sunday night meeting, and there was a Saturday morning meeting. This was like in 2018. So Saturday morning meeting. And I remember this man saw me there. I had a broken arm doing dumb shit like while I was high.
Yeah.
And he came up to me and he was like, "Can I help you get your coffee?" And I was like, "Sure, yeah." At first I was like, "God, no. Like, why is a guy talking to me?
Right.
But he starts talking to me like, have you been here before? Like, do you know what this is about? I'm like, no, I'm just court ordered. Like, I have to get my slip signed.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, do you have one of these books? You know, the basic text.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, no. And he's like, well, here, you wait right here.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, fine. And he bought me a basic text.
Oh, okay.
And we're still in touch today, and he's still like in recovery. And I just remember him like planting the seed. And long story short, I had to go to meetings. My counselor at the methadone clinic used to be a counselor at FRC.
Oh, no shit.
Do you know FRC in Oceanside? It's
yeah. I'm very familiar with it.
Okay. So she used to be a counselor there like a decade or two ago. And she's like, I know this place that you can go. Just let me know when you're ready. I'm like, fuck no. No, thank you.
No.
But
give me that methadone, please.
Yeah, no, really. I don't even remember my exact dosage, but I think it was maybe like between 108 and 120. I just remember 108 being like one of the numbers, but I know I went higher than that too at one point because I just
that's a lot. Holy shit.
It is. It's definitely kind of up there. I know people who've done way more than that.
Oh, yeah. I saw a chart. I was like, you could do 300? Holy fuck.
Yeah. And it's so not necessary.
No.
I would see people in the clinic.
I'd be like Stephen Hawking, just like,
dude, yeah. I remember people being like fucking doubled over and being like, I'm not even high. I'm like, oh no, you're not high? Okay. Yeah, okay.
My piss will fucking start looking that same color as them.
Right?
You know what I mean?
And I just remember, again, it was one of those things where I was like, I don't ever want to look like that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, fuck. Yeah.
But this lady, she kept asking me, she was like, I can get you in somewhere. And I don't know why I said it, but I was like, no, but please keep asking me. Like, that's what I would tell her every time.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah. And so she did that for like a year. And then one day, I had to meet with her. I can't remember if it was every 2 weeks or once a month or something like that. I think it was every 2 weeks if I was daily dosing.
I see.
But she really kept asking me. Like, she really like, I don't know, she really like saw something in me or something. But she kept trying every single time I was there. Just, do you want me to call the police? I'm like, no, but keep asking me. You know, I think mostly it started just to appease her, you know?
Right.
Like the people-pleasing tendencies.
Sure.
But yeah, it turned into something else. And I woke up in the bushes, in pain, sleeping on the ground, sick as fuck.
Right.
And yeah, I was like smoking meth. And I fucking hate meth.
Yeah. I could relate.
It was one of those things for me. It sounds so funny saying it, but I tried meth one time and I couldn't stop.
I see.
And I fucking hate meth, but I tried it one time. Yeah.
It'd be like that.
Yeah, it really, yeah. But yeah, she got me into FRC.
Wow, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I've heard good things about that program.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I was there for 4 months and then did outpatient.
Wow.
Yeah.
And did you wean off methadone while going into this program?
So one of the reasons I chose FRC or like said yes is because she's like, you can still stay on methadone.
Oh, yes.
And I'm like, okay. Yeah, let's do it. Because like, I was like, if I'm on methadone, then I'm okay. You know?
Yeah, for
like,
sure.
I will survive. Like, I'm still, I'm at high enough a dose where like I feel high. And this is where like part of my story I feel like can get kind of controversial in especially the rooms.
Well,
like
let's go with it. Okay,
well, like in anonymous programs, I have a lot of beliefs about this, and it's something that I am very passionate about as well.
Yeah.
But I was on methadone and FRC, and then I went to parent care in La Mesa. So I did outpatient, like La Mesa and sober living, and I was there for about 8 or 9 months, and then COVID hit.
Oh,
and
shit, yeah.
Everything was in fucking shambles, but I was on methadone that whole time. I went up in my dose at one point when I was at FRC because I was just like, I want to feel something.
Right.
And I couldn't do anything. So I went up on my dose.
Yeah.
So my clean date, I went into FRC, I think June 26th. I consider my clean date July 1st because every single time that I would go to the methadone clinic in the morning when I first got there, I'd smoke weed and then go back.
I see.
But I realized that I couldn't keep that up.
Yeah.
So I just consider July 1st, 2019, 2019, my clean date.
Yeah.
But I was still on methadone, and I
see.
still had these behaviors where like I wanted to get high, I wanted to feel the way that methadone made me feel. Yeah. But I still consider that, I call it my recovery date because like those were like the moments where I'm like, okay, I can't like keep living like this anymore.
Right, absolutely.
So I got off of methadone. So I got clean in 2019. I got off of methadone in February of 2022.
Okay.
So I was on it that whole time.
Yeah.
And I just knew I didn't want to stay on it because I was like, I want to give myself a chance because something happened, you know?
Yeah.
I was going to meetings every day when I was in sober living at the Life Center off of El Cajon Boulevard.
Oh, yeah. I know that place.
Yeah. And I was there like every single day. They had a meeting there every single day.
Oh,
yeah.
fuck. I didn't know that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if it's like that anymore, but at the time, yeah, every day. It was literally right down the street from my sober living. I could walk 10 minutes and I was there.
Oh,
so,
fuck yeah.
yeah. So I kind of started taking shit seriously and I got a sponsor and started working steps.
Yeah.
And just really tried.
Yeah,
And I started like slowly weaning off of methadone. And I remember people telling me that I couldn't do it. They were like, it's okay if you're on it for the rest of your life. And I'm like, yeah, but like, I don't want to be.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, because I did go to a podcast where I was kind of shitting on methadone a little bit. Not like shitting on it, but
So
just,
many people abuse it.
Yeah.
They really do.
Yeah. I mean, I work in the
I
field.
did.
Yeah. I work in the field. So, I mean, I have myself, I just wasn't able to do it because like my mental obsession was just too strong.
Yeah.
So even if I did methadone, I would just still get high. Like that's just my case.
Yeah.
But I absolutely think that methadone is a great tool to like if you're like on the streets and in your like especially with Eddie, you know, you're smoking lots of it. Your tolerance is fucking sky high. I think methadone is can be used as a great tool to get off that stuff and then eventually, you know, wean off and get your life back together. But I know that the industry is yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, there's like political aspects.
Yeah,
There's like,
sure.
you know, I'm sure you see it in the field and also like in your personal life.
Yes,
like,
I do.
People abuse it. I even abused it.
Yeah.
And this is something that I am definitely open about. Not always at a meeting level, but
For sure, yeah.
people close to me. But even when I was doing all the things in, you know, 12-step programs, when I was on methadone, I was weaning off, right? I had this little bottle that I would wean myself off a little bit too and then go down a dose when I was actually at the clinic. Yeah. Because I was just like, fuck it, I'm going to feel like shit. I'm just going to like work out, just power through it.
Right.
Like I can fucking do this.
Right.
But the mental part.
Yes.
I had a little bottle that was empty that I saved. They somehow missed it when I, you know, had turned in my bottles. And I would pour a little bit in there, pour a little bit in there, pour a little bit in there. Because I was like, if something happens and I'm not off methadone, I'm going to need methadone.
Right.
Like, I need this. So I had these 2 little bottles of, it was probably pretty potent methadone too, because I started doing it like right when I was weaning off, because I knew it would be easier when I was at a higher dose instead of lower and like feeling all itchy or, you know, like I need more gremlin style.
Yes.
But I had those bottles and I remember, again, there was like a switch that clicked. I couldn't tell you the timeline, but a switch that clicked. I came home. I went to my roommate who wasn't in recovery, but like she was there for mine. Yeah. And I went over to her and I was like, hey, I've been doing this. I have these 2 bottles in my dresser. Can you please help me flush them? And what she did, this is so funny. I love her so much for this. Unfortunately, we're not friends today, but we had a falling out, but she was down for me at points in time. But she pissed in the toilet. She took my bottles, poured them out, and then fucking swished it in there. And she's like, I know how you fucking heroin addicts are. You would go in the toilet and fucking drink that. And then she flushed it.
Yes, I fucking would.
Yeah. Yeah, she did that. But it was so funny because, like, I was so scared to tell her. Yeah. But, like, she made it so that, like, I didn't have that weight on me anymore. And I was like, okay, I can fucking move on now, you know? Yeah. And I don't know, it changed everything for me. And then, of course, like, actually getting off methadone. I'm
pretty sure felt great.
It felt fucking amazing. I thought that I was doing amazing because I was like on fire for recovery and doing all the things, going to meetings. But when I got off of methadone, it was an entirely different experience. Like I was definitely doing the work and digging deep, but like getting off of methadone, opened up a whole new layer and like took blocks off my brain that like literally and figuratively that like I recommend anybody who like goes that route, like just fucking try to get off. Do whatever you can because like it's so worth it. You feel so much better and it really wasn't even that bad, especially if like you actually do what clinics tell you to do and wean off and tartrate off and yeah, it saved my life. So that's what I mean by a little bit controversial because I know some people are like like you either weren't clean or
they can go fuck themselves, man.
That's what I say. That's what I say. Every time I share my story, I'm like, I don't give a fuck what you think about it. Like methadone saved my life and I know it doesn't work for everybody and I know that people abuse it. I abused it.
Yeah, sure.
But I'm still going to claim that recovery date because a switch went off in my head where I'm like, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Yeah.
I want to do this for real.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's fucking amazing. I commend you, honestly, because I know exactly what you're saying. You know, people can be like so fucking judgmental and stuff like that. But it's a big fucking deal to you know, make changes. And not everybody's fucking path is going to be exactly the same as the one you did. I wouldn't recommend anybody to recover like me. I had to go to jail. You want to do that? You want
yeah, you want to be homeless?
Yeah.
Like, no,
you
don't have to.
You don't have to at all. You don't have to have your whole family fucking hate you and you have nowhere to go. And
yeah. It takes what it takes, right?
It takes what it takes. Exactly. Heck yeah, man. So I know we were talking a little bit. So you also like, you also do like a little bit. I know because you do a lot of like, you know, 12-step recovery and stuff like that. Do you do other stuff as well? Like as form as like healing and stuff like that?
Yes, I do. I do a bunch of different things.
Okay, yeah.
My journey with figuring out what my higher power is has developed to a certain point. Again, it's something that I heard in yours that I related to a lot. Like the word God always scared me. I was raised Christian, specifically Lutheran.
Oh, I see.
So God and religion were like a huge thing, and I was very defiant. I was like, I don't understand. This does not make sense. Like, I don't fucking like this.
Yeah.
And I got in trouble a lot for that. And it even got to the point where I had to live with my aunt and uncle at one point in time when I was a sophomore. They are I wouldn't say like, they're not like fanatic religious, but they're very religious. Like it's very woven into their life, their lifestyle. And I had to live with them. And they sent me to a Lutheran. There's branches of Lutheranism, like from strict to liberal, basically. And they were like a liberal branch. But they sent me to a strict Lutheran school. I had to like put retainers and I had like a whole bunch more piercings than I have right now. Like, they're all out now. But I had to cover my collarbones. Knees were not allowed to be shown.
What?
Couldn't wear tank tops.
Oh my God, what the fuck? Like those Islams, like you just covered you up and you only see the eyes.
I was told I was going to hell so often when I went to that school.
Oh my
However,
God, really?
it was like, it was so fucking awful. It really was. Religion was a required class. Church and it was just like a regular part of like school. And
Oh God.
But it was like the first time I did good in my life, and it was my first time seeing that a God could be good. And while I didn't necessarily believe in like a Christian God, it like opened me up a little bit to like, okay, like there could be something greater that actually helps people where you're not hurting people and, you know, everything that's good about it. Right. Didn't really last that long because then I got sent back to Germany, started using all over again, forgot everything. But I remember there is a Monday night 11th step meeting. It's all on Zoom now, but it used to be at the Life Center. And it is, you know, the 11th step, keeping that conscious contact with your higher power. And I remember not understanding God or a higher power at all. So I went to that meeting.
I see.
I was like, okay, I don't know what this is. So I'm going to try and learn. Yeah. So I'm a total nerd. I fucking love Star Wars, Lord of the Rings.
Really?
I love that. Fantasy is like my favorite shit ever.
Okay.
So my higher power originally was like, you could only compare it to like the Force.
Force. Oh, nice.
In everything.
I love that.
Yeah. It's bigger than us, right?
Yes.
Like, it binds us together. Yes. It is like the glue that holds our reality together. There's power in it,
Dude.
you know. You can't always see it, but maybe you can feel it,
Right.
you know. So yeah, that was my higher power.
You're a
this
Jedi.
song- yeah, I'm a fucking Jedi.
Fuck
But
yes,
really though,
dude.
like I really thought like, I don't know, it just like it made sense to me.
Oh yeah,
So,
I love that. I absolutely do.
Yeah, and that's how I described it. And I remember it's just like a really cool little icebreaker too, because like people don't get it. Then you're like, "Do you know Star Wars?"
Totally.
And they're like, "Oh yeah, okay, yeah, that kind of makes sense, I
Yeah.
guess." But
Yeah.
I took it to a whole nother level where I was just like, "This it really could be like this force that binds us together."
Yes. Yeah.
And
absolutely.
North County is like such a cool little haven for the spiritual community, for I don't even like calling it alternative methods necessarily, but I guess that's the term that I'll use to describe it.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
I know quite a few people who like have their own practices, share it with the community in general, and especially like the recovery community.
Yeah.
And basically through my attendance and trying to seek out something that worked for me, I found like this whole little niche group where
nice.
where the force is still definitely my higher power.
Oh,
like
fuck
it's
I love
magical.
that so much.
Yeah. But am I allowed to say names and stuff?
You can. I don't give a
Okay.
shit.
So one of my really good friends, one of my best friends, Sherry, she is,
Oh yeah, I know.
yeah, that's
I love her.
I'm in love with that woman. She has helped me through some really major moments in my life, and through a series of events, she does a lot of healing modalities. So
Yes, I'm familiar. She does a lot of that stuff too.
yeah. So she's super inspiring to me. I know there's quite a lot of there's like women that I could list off that are fucking amazing, but she's probably one of the primary women who has always like encouraged me or just pushed me to be better or to get my own answers or just let me do my own thing and just like watch me do it. Right. So I remember approaching her and telling her like I want to do more. Like I've been looking into like sound healing and like I wanna learn more about it and like I wanna learn how to do it. And like the words hadn't even came out of my mouth yet. And she's like, "I'll teach you."
That sounds like her.
Yeah. And she just she taught me, and I've been holding like my own little sessions. And there's this other woman who I met through another program, one of the other anonymous programs, and her name is Carmina.
Oh, okay.
So
I know her too.
Awesome.
Yeah,
She is another one of those women who she was like, "Fucking do it," to anything that I said. Just fucking do it. And I met her because COVID hit. Yeah. Didn't want to stay down here, and I moved back up to North County with an ex. And I started doing not NA but like CA and AA.
Really?
I just felt like, I don't know what drove me there, but invitations from a few people that I knew from those rooms, and then I went to a CA meeting, and one of my old bosses from like back in the day.
Really?
He has like 33 years sober now.
Oh
but,
shit.
He introduced me to her. He was like, "Hey, you need to know her. Carmina, here, give numbers, blah, 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 blah." And like, I sat with them up front, and she was speaking that night, and she does a lot of breathwork circles and retreats. And I started attending her circles, and there is this group that she put on called the Coven Collective. So it's like witches. Oh, and that's cool. Gathering. But it's like specifically breathwork related and learning about basically how to help each other heal each other.
Oh, I see.
Because one of her main beliefs, which is something that I share, is like, nobody's going to heal you. Like, you have to heal yourself. That's like what she says all the time. Yeah. And I very much believe that.
I absolutely agree.
She gave me the opportunity to lead one of those basically like a little learning moment before her actual teachings. And it was about grief and loss.
Oh, I see.
And it's something I told you that I'm very, it's like been my biggest teacher because I lost my dad about 1.5 years ago. Holy shit, it's almost gonna be 2 years.
I can't believe that. Wow.
So April of 2023.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's it was one of those things. So he had cancer. It was like
I see.
he was beating it for a while. Like he went into remission. He got like all the cancer removed through like a bunch of really heavy duty surgical procedures.
Yeah.
Had to do chemo, radiation, all of that stuff.
Yeah.
And my dad's like my person.
Yeah.
And there was like a certain point where he just kept getting sicker and sicker. And it was anticipatory grief, like where, you know this person's going to die. You don't know when.
Yeah.
But me and my dad were really close. And it's all because of me getting clean that we got to have that opportunity. We had like at least one breakfast a week. It was like our thing to try different breakfast places. We have like this spreadsheet in my phone that we shared where like we would catalog all the places we went and grade them.
your personal Yelp.
Exactly. But it was like our thing, and our love language is food, and
right.
Yeah. So
Absolutely.
His cancer journey like really sparked something in me because you're probably familiar with this going through treatment, but I remember us doing like relapse prevention plans.
Yeah.
My dad was like number 1 on that relapse list. Like if he dies, I have never slammed drugs, but that is exactly what I'm going to do if he dies. Like I'm very okay with that too. Like I was very resolved. I'm like, this is my reservation and I'm very okay with this. Like this is a good reservation to have.
Yeah.
And that slowly faded, and I was just like, no, that's never going to happen.
Right.
But me and my dad's relationship just built to the point where like it was like the best bond that I've ever had in my life, especially with a male, like a good male figure.
Right.
And I just remember using the rooms as a tool, like they say to do, like share about what's going on in your life.
Right.
Stay in the solution.
Right.
And listen to the people who share with you about like their own experience.
Yes.
And I remember people sharing about them losing their parents to cancer. And I remember me sharing about it and those same people coming up to me and saying, their experience. Not every single time was I like grateful for it, but what it taught me was that we could get through anything staying clean and just practicing like those simple little things like sharing about it and staying in the solution.
Right.
So I got to be really fucking present for my dad's death. I was not present for his death, but we had a celebration of life for him while he was still alive. And we even got like, he sat me down one time and he was like, listen, we just got the news from the doctor that I have like a couple weeks to a couple months to live. And that's just what it's going to be.
Yeah.
And I remember like wanting to burst into tears and just being like, okay, what's next? So what do we do now?
Right.
And I just remember trying to learn as much as I can or as much as I could to be as present as possible. One of the things, so I work in like the grief industry for the veterinary field.
I see.
And one of the things that I tell people most is like, do the thing where you're going to look back and be like, okay, I don't regret like anything. Because I truly believe that to live in the present, like you just have to do the things that you're not going to regret doing. And just have the courage to actually say what you mean and then act on it too.
Right.
Like I had my moment with my dad where like I told him all the things. Like I'm so grateful for the time that we had. I'm really not okay with you dying. And because so many people see a dying person in front of them and want to like make it about them or make themselves feel better for being in such like a scary situation.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That they won't tell the people the things that they need to tell them or even share how they're feeling out loud. I heard so many times from people in the room saying like, I wish I could have said this to my mom. I wish I could have said this to my dad. Or even treating dying people like they're dying.
Yeah.
Like they're still a person. And one of my first sponsors, she told me, she was like, don't mourn the living. Like they're still alive. Like be there. Like have that life with them because they're not dead yet.
Right.
And it just like changed my whole view on like grief and loss and death. And holding that little space with those women that Carmina facilitated, it really sparked something in me where I was like, okay, like I want to help people with this, because after I did it, so many people came up to me and they were like, I didn't get to do that, like with my son, with my child, with my dad.
Right.
And grief looks so different for anybody.
Absolutely.
There's like literally no right or wrong way to do it.
Right.
And that's like one of the hard things that people have to accept, because people think so many things about what grief or loss should look like.
Yeah.
Or that you should just get over it or move on. And that's just like that's not how it works. That's just not how it works.
Right.
And I've really grown to appreciate my grief and like what it's given me. Something that I've shared a lot over the past couple years about my dad is that, and it sounds weird to people who don't understand, but like my dad dying was like the best thing that's ever happened to me and the worst thing that's ever happened to me.
I could see exactly what you mean.
Yeah.
My dad died when I was 10, so I know exactly what you're saying.
And I feel like you can probably relate too, because of like what you do like for the community.
Yeah.
Fuck fentanyl is such a powerful message, like where we lose people that we love, but like look what kind of awareness that it's brought.
Yeah.
Like it sucks to see it like that, but it's also like really fucking beautiful and
Absolutely.
strong and makes a difference.
Absolutely. And I was going to mention that as well. This was kind of I started this just as a form of my grief.
Yeah.
And my pain and my loss.
Yeah.
You know, losing my friends. That was
Your best friends.
Yeah, my best friend. Yeah, and others.
His name is Phil, right?
Phil Palmer.
Yeah.
So pretty much, and then I kind of, you know, now it's been a few years and I get more time to process things. You know, a lot of like what I pretty much kind of started my you know, using of drugs and alcohol was I think from my dad dying. I think kind of was like the first like I think stepping stone into to that path.
Something we don't know how to process, especially at 10.
Right, exactly. And then so but you know, so when I first started Fuck Fentanyl, it was for Phil, and then now that it's been a few years, I'm learning that it's like kind of, I think it's for sure he's definitely the center of the attention of it, but I think that's how I kind of honor all of my friends that passed away from it. And like, you know, like my uncle, he died like last year.
Oh.
I even think of my dad, even to you know, it's like, I think this would be something he would have been all about, you know, even though like I haven't spoken to him in 25 fucking years.
Yeah, but still,
you know,
I feel like the people that we lost are still very much with us.
Yeah.
Especially when we do things like that, like imagining that your dad, I feel like our imagination's a very powerful thing.
Absolutely.
It's been coming up a lot lately in conversations I've had with people, but I feel like imagination is like one of the tools that we can use to stay in gratitude and be helpful and of service and happy, because as kids, a lot of us are told to like stifle that imagination. We're usually not encouraged. Like I see a lot of people, a lot of parents nowadays like encouraging their kids to be creative and have that imagination. But I remember, like, if you start talking about your imaginary friends when you're little, your parents are like, no, there's nobody there.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, right.
But I feel like it's a very powerful tool. Like just imagining like what your dad would think of this. Like that is probably exactly what your dad would feel, especially because it's coming from you. Like I feel like that's super powerful and important to acknowledge.
Absolutely.
And it's kind of funny because like my whole craft and where my spirituality has led me, even though my dad was Lutheran, I feel like he'd be totally into it and be like asking me questions, and we'd be like delving into like Christian mysticism or, you know, some crazy shit about like wizards and warlocks. And so I channel like what my memories are of him, and I just like imagine like what he would say to me. And I believe that that's a fact. Like, if I can imagine it, then I think that that could be real or it's happening somewhere else. I like to use the comparison of technology. Like everything that we have thought of technologically or industrially, it was all a dream in somebody's head at one point in time, or even maybe a thought that didn't even come to fruition. But like we made all the things that we have like with just a thought or our imaginations, and then it became a reality with the tangible universe. So
absolutely,
I feel like the same thing could be said for like so many things that we just discount as like, you know, I don't know, just imagination or crazy thoughts, whatever it is.
No. I said, yeah, you're totally right on that. Like, you know, like we, I guess I guess we can manifest things if we truly believe in it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
100%. Let me tell you straight up. When I started the brand, I didn't think this was ever gonna happen.
Yeah.
It just, you know what I mean?
It's so fucking cool.
I made some stickers and T-shirts. You know?
Yeah. And I heard you say too, like, have you reached 50 states yet?
Oh man, I'm so close to it. I think I'm missing like 4.
Oh my God.
It's like really rural, like states. Like I think like New Hampshire's one of them.
Who even lives in New Hampshire?
I know, right? Yeah. A cow.
A cow, yeah.
No, I'm really close to it. I'm really close to it. But I was looking at the podcast, like analytics. I don't really try to do that normally, but because I hit the 1 year mark. This podcast is a year old.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah. So I get to see like all the different parts of the world that listen. It's really cool.
That's amazing.
It's like I didn't know they speak English and most of them. But it's fucking rad.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I feel like one of the things that I liked about San Diego County was like how we all like support each other. Like I didn't even know that you were like the founder, that Spider-Man was the artist.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
But I would see people wearing your shit and your gear.
Yeah.
And being like, oh, I wonder what that is. But like, yeah, fuck fentanyl. The part that I didn't tell you about my story was like, remember how I was telling you powdered heroin was like my thing?
Yeah.
Couldn't find it over here. So fentanyl was their out. Whenever any of my dealers would get fentanyl. So I feel like it was just starting to creep around by the time that I was using in like 2014.
Oh, see. Yeah.
Very rare, but you could still get it. So whenever anybody would find powdered heroin, they would call it powdered heroin, but it was fentanyl.
Oh, no
and
way.
They would call me and be like, I found the powdered heroin. I'd be like, I know it's not powdered heroin, but I want it. But that's how fucked up it is. That's why I truly believe that like my God, my higher power got me out in 2019 because that's right when fentanyl was like really heavily just, it was in everything. I remember I got arrested one time and I had, I kept my fentanyl in a foil with a straw because, you know, I like to snort things.
Yes.
So, and I remember getting arrested and I was wearing this, like a little one piece with a skirt. And it had buttons in the crotch.
Sure.
And I had this fucking Tudor fentanyl in aluminum foil. I put it up my coochie because I'm getting arrested and I'm getting booked.
Right.
And I remember they put me through the little metal detector scanner.
Yeah, that thing.
And it went off. And I was like, fuck, they're going to find it.
Yeah.
And I get taken out and the female guard is like, it showed something around your crotch. I'm like, oh, well, I'm wearing a onesie and there's buttons in the crotch. And like she pulls down my skirt, looks at it, and she's like, oh, okay. I'm like,
oh fuck.
Whoa. And then I did all the fentanyl that I had in the holding cell, flushed it on the foil and everything. And and then I got booked. And that was probably the last time. But I wasn't in for that long and then I got out. And I just keep thinking, like, if I was around now, like, I would definitely be dead because I loved fentanyl.
Yeah.
And it's so fucked up saying that, knowing what it's done to our community, addicts in general. Like, it's so fucked. Kids, one of my, I don't really, I don't have any sponsees right now, so it's just not something that I'm into right now.
Yeah.
But at one point in time, one of my sponsees, she wasn't even into like meth, heroin, like that kind of scene. She was more on like the party scene, like with coke, ecstasy, all of that. She did what she thought was coke or an e-pill. I can't remember which. And she was at home. She fucking fell out, and her son called a neighbor to call 911.
Fuck.
And I just remember thinking like, yeah, you don't belong in like that lifestyle. Like that should have never happened to you. And it, like, it gives me chills thinking about it. Like, it's so fucked up. Like people who don't even like use like that and they're at risk. It's fucking scary.
Oh my God.
But yeah,
absolutely.
I really think that there was something to, you know, my direction because of that, because I definitely loved fentanyl. I remember getting fentanyl patches before there was like fentanyl powder, and just remember and this goes back to like me doing my drug research. I remember thinking like, okay, fentanyl, I fucking love it. but if I smoke this patch, I could die because the concentration of
It's
the
so
gel,
potent.
it's so potent, and you never know. It's not evenly distributed because you put it on your skin.
Right.
You're supposed to like put it on your skin, and it's supposed to be absorbed. You're not supposed to fucking smoke it.
That's not the intention?
No. And I just remember thinking like, okay, I got to be careful or I'll die.
Right.
And I still proceed to fucking smoke it.
Absolutely.
Like, what?
Smoke with caution?
Smoke with caution. You could die, but it's okay. It's a risk that you're willing to take. That's a fucked up mindset.
Absolutely. Oh my God. Oh my God. Well, thank God that you're clean and honestly, I think you're such an amazing woman in recovery. That's fucking
Thank you.
very inspiring. Very inspiring. And I appreciate you coming up here again.
Yeah. It was a nice little drive down.
I hope it didn't trigger your
No, definitely not.
Oh no, I'm almost in Mexico.
Nope, it was totally good. Oh God, the stories I have in Mexico. Stupid stuff.
Yeah.
Being a white girl that cannot even speak like a lick of Spanish, going across the border, doing the things that I was doing. So stupid. God.
It's funny because you see them all the time. You see them down there in TJ.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Again.
Thank you, Luis.
All righty. All right. Well, goodbye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
This is the Fuck Fentanyl guy letting you know if you or a loved one is injured in a motorcycle accident, then call 1-800-Lawtigers for a free case evaluation. We are available 24/7. That's 1-800-Lawtigers with over $1.5 billion recovered in verdicts and settlements. Nobody got your back more than Lawtigers.